Rise of Supreme: how a skater brand became a global phenomenon. Even if you're not into streetwear, chances are you've heard of it. What started as a humble skate shop in New York City turned into a global brand, coveted by celebrities and hyped by everyone from teenagers to fashion moguls. But how did a brand known for its simplicity, and a logo that looks suspiciously like Barbara Kruger's art, become a billion-dollar empire? Let's take a journey through the story of Supreme, from its gritty beginnings to its status as the king of streetwear. The origins. Skating on thin ice. The story begins in 1994 with a man named James Jebbia. If you're imagining Jebbia as a skateboarding prodigy, think again. Jebbia wasn't even born in the US. He was a British transplant who had spent some time in the New York retail scene, working at Parachute, a hip clothing store. Before Supreme, Jebbia was involved in a small, but influential, store called Union, which catered to the downtown NYC crowd. He also partnered with Sean Stussy, the man behind the brand Stussy, on the Stussy NY chapter store. These experiences gave Jebbia a solid foundation in street culture, retail, and the emerging skate scene. In 1994, Jebbia decided to strike out on his own, opening a skate shop on Lafayette Street in Manhattan. The store was bare bones, with an open layout that allowed skaters to come in with their boards without knocking over racks of clothes. It was designed for skaters, by someone who understood their world, an environment that was unpretentious and authentic. The name? Supreme. A bold choice for a brand that started with just a single store and no advertising budget. Skater culture. The secret sauce. From the get-go, Supreme was different. The store didn't scream for attention, but it didn't need to. Skaters and downtown kids knew it was the real deal. Supreme wasn't just selling clothes, it was selling a lifestyle, a culture. The brand's first items were simple: shirts, hoodies, and hats, all emblazoned with the now iconic red box logo. The logo itself, with its white Futura heavy oblique font, was minimalist but unmistakable. And yes, it bore a striking resemblance to the work of conceptual artist Barbara Kruger, but we'll get to that later. What made Supreme stand out was its authenticity. It wasn't trying to be cool, it just was. The brand's connection to the skate community was real, not manufactured in some marketing boardroom. Supreme wasn't about trends, it was about the skater ethos, rebellious, gritty, and unapologetically real. The clothes were functional, designed for skaters to wear while they shredded the streets of New York, but they were also stylish in a way that resonated with the wider youth culture. The hype begins. Limited edition magic now. Here's where things get interesting. Supreme quickly became known for something that would later define its entire business model: limited releases. Unlike other brands that mass-produced their products, Supreme produced items in small quantities. The result? Scarcity. And if there's one thing that drives hype, it's scarcity. The items would sell out almost immediately, leaving a trail of desperate customers in their wake, willing to pay hefty markups on the resale market. Supreme's limited edition drops became legendary. The brand would release a new collection every Thursday, but they wouldn't announce it in advance. Customers had to stay in the know, often through word of mouth or by being regulars at the store. And when the drop happened, it was chaos. Lines would form around the block, with kids waiting for hours, sometimes overnight, just to get their hands on a Supreme hoodie or t-shirt. It wasn't just about buying clothes, it was about being part of something exclusive, something that not everyone could have. Asterisk collaborations. Supreme meets the big leagues. As the brand grew, Supreme started to collaborate with other companies, a strategy that would take them to the next level. But these weren't your average collaborations. Supreme partnered with brands and artists across the spectrum, from high fashion to streetwear to downright bizarre. One of the earliest collaborations that put Supreme on the map was with Nike. In 2002, Supreme released its version of the Nike SB Dunk Low, a sneaker that would go down in history as one of the most coveted releases ever. The shoes, like most Supreme products, were released in limited quantities, and they flew off the shelves. This collaboration wasn't just about sneakers, it was about bridging the gap between skate culture and mainstream fashion, something that hadn't been done successfully before. From there, the collaborations became more ambitious. Supreme teamed up with luxury brands like Louis Vuitton, creating a collection that was the ultimate mashup of streetwear and high fashion. The collaboration was so hyped that it caused near riots at some of the pop-up stores. Then there were the weirder collaborations, Supreme-branded bricks, nunchucks, and even a crowbar. These offbeat items weren't just for show, they were emblematic of Supreme's playful, irreverent attitude. Asterisk the logo controversy, homage or theft. No story about Supreme would be complete without addressing the controversy surrounding its logo. The red box logo is arguably one of the most recognizable in the fashion world, but its origins are, well, a bit murky. The design bears a striking resemblance to the work of Barbara Kruger, a conceptual artist known for her bold, text-heavy pieces that critique consumerism and patriarchy. Kruger's work often features white fuchsia font on a red background, overlaid with phrases like, "I shop, therefore I am." While Gebbia has acknowledged that the logo was inspired by Kruger's work, he's never directly addressed the ethical implications. Kruger, for her part, has been dismissive of Supreme, referring to the brand as a bunch of clowns in one interview. The logo controversy has never really hurt Supreme, though. If anything, it added to the brand's mystique, making it even more of a conversation piece. The billion-dollar industry Supreme sells out, or does it? Fast forward to 2017, and Supreme made headlines again, this time for being valued at $1 billion. That's right, the little skate shop from Lafayette Street was now a billion-dollar empire. The valuation came after private equity firm the Carlyle Group purchased a 50% stake in the company for $500 million. Some die-hard fans cried sellout, but the move didn't dampen Supreme's popularity. If anything, it solidified its status as a major player in the fashion world. Supreme continued to do what it does best, create hype. The brand's drops remained unpredictable and highly sought after. Collaborations with brands like North Face, Stone Island, and even Oreo, yes, the cookies, kept Supreme in the headlines and at the forefront of streetwear culture. The legacy from skater brand to cultural icon today, Supreme is more than just a brand, it's a cultural phenomenon. It's been name-dropped in rap songs, worn by celebrities, and featured in art exhibitions. Supreme has managed to stay relevant for nearly 3 decades, an impressive feat in the fast-paced world of fashion. But what makes Supreme truly unique is that it never lost its edge. Even as it became a global brand, Supreme maintained its skater roots, its rebellious spirit, and its sense of humor. Whether it's releasing a brick with a box logo or collaborating with high fashion houses, Supreme has always been about more than just clothing. It's about creating a lifestyle, a culture, and a community that's exclusive yet accessible, high-end yet grounded in the streets. So, the next time you see that red box logo, remember, it's not just a logo. It's a symbol of a brand that turned the fashion world upside down, one limited edition drop at a time. Supreme didn't just follow the trends, it set them. And in doing so, it became, well, Supreme. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications.